I tried to do this video twice. Started off my last video talking about the insane weather we had today. It was just scorching hot at the Meadows all day long, and then the wind picked up. You can feel it. A little more of a chill in the air. You know it's coming. The rain's coming. So, and it was supposed to come around 4. We were hoping we get the card over with. 11th race, a little breezier. The temperature starts to dip just ever so slightly. 12th race, little mist in the air. You can hear the thunder and lightning rolling all around you. It was so weird. I wish I had taken a picture directly above us. It was the weirdest weather. And then the 13th race was a monsoon. It rained so hard for so long. I actually just waited 40 minutes in the kitchen after the races. I didn't want to leave the paddock to run down to the truck. It was raining so hard. So I just sat there. Loitered. And sure enough, it died down. So I get going down the road. 15 minutes into my drive, maybe, sun comes out. No clouds, no nothing, just sun. Now it's a little overcast again. It's very weird. I think the bulk of my earlier video that I started, I rambled a bit about the horses that were in today, when really there's not a whole lot to talk about. Serious Dragon drew the outside again. I looked left leaving the gate. I knew I wanted to get around the 6 and 7. I just didn't want to boil them out of there again. I just thought, you know what, this is just one of those times where you're just going to have to take your medicine. And I looked left, I got around the 6 and 7, followed Mike for a little bit, lost his cover getting into the last turn, and just got beat for 5th at the wire. 51 and 4, 26 and 3 on the end of it. And what are you going to do? Complain about it? The horse raced good. It's not his fault. Hopefully we draw good next week and we can, we can light that fuse again. Now it's going to rain. This is insanity. Stay close. I want you guys to pay very close attention. Stay close was flat as a pancake. Now he drew the outside and get chewed up a few starts in a row. And didn't get chewed up, but hates racing from off the pace. But this way you're forced to. I'm not so worried about the outside post as I am the classes, right? That 12,000 class can be as salty as an open some days. And there's lots of times they're looking for the open, can't fill the backup class. It's just, I hate running up and down that class ladder. Virtually what you're doing is saying, I'm okay with absolutely wasting half my year starts. I hate doing it. So I'm going to tell you, one of these days what's going to happen is Stay Close is going to drop down like he did right now. He's going to go on a 3 or 4 race tear. They're going to call for him in the open. He's going to come out in the backup class, or they're going to use him in the open, and I'm going to put him on preferred or on gate. That's what's going to happen. I would much rather focus on a 3-year-old turning 4 that fits the numbers of 5 up to 8 that we can race up into Stay Close's classes. He's a nice horse, but just kind of in between, right? Not my favorite. I love the horse to death. I would never say a bad word about Stay Close. He's been a tough, hard-nosed competitor since the day we raced him, started racing him. But just not good for us, is what I was trying to convey to everybody. Now, we also have really Don't Care and Princess Dream racing tonight. Bit of a slow week anyway, right? That cancellation. Our Wednesdays are that's our bread and butter day at Northfield Park. And the cancellation yesterday really kind of threw a monkey wrench into our operation. We've been on a tear the last few Wednesdays, and looked like we were going to continue it yesterday. So not what I wanted to see, but what are you going to do? There's not much you can do. The other part of what I want to talk about today was a lot of updates. A lot of people asking, even though I put it in videos, what we're doing, why Tenacious Hanover wasn't in to go tomorrow in the Stallion Series, right? Why he didn't get in? It's very simple. He didn't race since July 31st. I wasn't comfortable in saying that he was tight enough to race at his top level, and the Stallion Series meant nothing anyway. Can't make the final. Yeah, you're gonna race for 20 against a bunch of horses that are just rabid right now because they all want to make it into the final of the Stallion Series. No gimmies there. He fits numbers at 2. Just wait a week. We can race him in the Consolation. We're gonna train him up or school him this week. Make sure he's tight. One of our clients said, well, schooling him's not the same as racing him Friday. No, you're right. Racing him Friday would have been a certain suicide mission from what I could see. You would have asked him to do more than he was capable of doing today or tomorrow. Whereas schooling him, we can control that, go a mile 54, 55 with him. Remember this, the horse has already been racing. Been there, done that. Now we just got to get him to where he's comfortable, sound, happy, healthy, ready to go. And I think the best path for that position is schooling on Tuesday. Now I have a big question to answer on Tuesday. It's pouring rain. This is insanity. Tuesday we have the trotting fillies in Kentucky, right? Jim Marie, Grand Slam Dio, Green Glitter, all in to go. It was the fourth one. Oh, Rosetta. Oh, even puts more of a wrinkle into the whole thought process. We have those four in. We have those four horses in. Captain Incredible is in. All going to be entered for Tuesday, tomorrow. We do have a little bit of a problem. I told you guys the other day Tim was going to triple check and quadruple check Casanova Hall's dates. Well, he didn't have to because I was contacted by our analytics department. Immediately, Greg was on top of it and said, it's 47 days. You're wrong. It's 2 days off. So, of course, I did the math, even though I knew I didn't really have to. Greg is not often wrong when it comes to things like this. So it looks like Casanova Hall does have to qualify Tuesday to be entered Wednesday. I can make the argument and say, well, surely to Jesus, if he can't qualify Tuesday, you got problems coming on Sunday. You're right. You still have to get him qualified. So we made those changes. Tim said, you want to come over and train him early? Really, it doesn't matter because his problem's at the gate when he's switching gears. It's not the gate. He has anxiety switching gears at the gate, which to me screams interfering. It's just him interfering. So we're going to make those much more aggressive changes to his hind shoes. And if he is stepping to the better side of how he qualified the other day, then I will get him around. But the other side of that coin is, if I'm wrong, and it's the wrong side of that anxiety level, he won't qualify. He will make a break. Super fast horse, but we are going to have to work on him. It's funny because his brother Chicago Hall, that's his brother. I told you guys that before. There's no issues with him. He made a break going in the first turn the other day at Mohawk on Chris Christopher 2 weeks ago, but I don't see any of the similarities between the two. Oh, goodness me. The other thing I wanted to update everybody, a number of people asking about Neptune. What is a Neptune? You talked about him. Tell me more. So, I'll tell you what I know. Neptune is a 4-year-old Better's Delight. Went from New Zealand to Australia and now is going to be sold and sent here. A portion of them will be sold. They'll be sent here to race. There will be shares up for sale of Neptune. Now, the frustrating part is I'm quoted a price for Neptune, all in, dropped off at Northfield Park. There's a lot of hands making money in between the horse leaving the barn in, I think Robbie used to be stabled at Menangle. I assume he still is. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's say he is, for argument's sake. From the horse leaving Robbie Morris's barn to being dropped off at Northfield Park. And this is including the quarantine costs and money and time. In Chicago, I believe. I have to double check that, but I'm 99% sure it is. Oh, the sun's out again. This is insanity. It's like the Bermuda Triangle. I was quoted a price all in $440 USD a share. Now, there are only going to be 60 shares available. Daniel Cordina and Robbie Morris are going to keep their shares of Neptune. Daniel is sending, the whole way this came about was Daniel was sending one of his horses here to race, sending it to us to race. Showed a little blood, not allowed to use Lasix in Australia or New Zealand. Apparently this other horse is teetering on the fence, Neptune, of needing it, so they'll both be Lasix horses when they get here. Where they race, where they fit, I don't know yet. Meadows, Southern Ohio. Mohawk, maybe Northfield, but I'm leaning towards probably Mohawk. Daniel's horses now one is a 3. Neptune's won 8 races, but has like 60, 70, 80,000 made. I forget how they change everything around and what he'll actually fit and how he'll fit it, but he will fit. I can assure you of that somewhere. I'm left trying to decide whether I'm going to get something to eat now or later. I don't want to eat too late at all. I'll get something after. I'm not feeling it right now. So, we have Neptune, who's going to be coming here. His flight is September the 10th. I assume we have to pay for the horse, obviously, before he leaves Australia. We'll probably put shares of him up for sale next week. I just want to dot my I's and cross my T's when it comes to Neptune. I don't want to make any mistakes here when it comes to shipping a horse here. It's my understanding he arrives. He has to quarantine for 10 days in Chicago, somewhere around O'Hare Airport, I would imagine. When he gets a green light from the veterinarian staff there, then he will be shipped from there. It's only, 6-7 hours to Northfield Park. We'll station him at Northfield right away, assess him, decide where the best spot for Neptune is, and then either race him there or ship him out to where we're going to race him. So that's the plan with Neptune. Keep in mind, we do have Corbin coming too. A lot of big purses and overnight races in Corbin. So that's worth, I guess, putting out there in the ether also. So we talked about Tenacious Hanover, the update with him, Casanova Hall, Neptune, the babies. A number of people asking about Miss Mildred's Sweet Lou filly. Yes, she will be coming in at some point. I'm not in a big hurry to get all the babies in. Even Judy's Money that we just bought, I think I'm going to turn her back out for a few weeks. Think about it. We get them in waves, right? The Ohio sale's on the 13th. Then you have Lexington. And then you have a month to Harrisburg. So somewhere in between the Ohio sale and Harrisburg, we'll get all of our babies that we've acquired in. We have 7 right now. We have 4 homebreds: Sweeney's brother, Miss Mildred's sister, and Judy's Money is in also. So we have 7 right now. We will put some shares of the other horses up, the homebreds up at some point. Just trying to figure out the best way to go about doing that for everybody. Should there be a day where you just say, okay, this is when we're going to start putting our yearling shares up? I guess we already kind of cheated a little bit with Judy's Money. She sold out. So I guess that's something I have to figure out. We're gonna start putting the buckets up. I will pledge to have the buckets up and going by, I was gonna say Monday, let's say Tuesday. Tuesday, the buckets for the Ohio sale will be up. And then obviously shortly thereafter, we'll start with the Lexington stuff. I do want to get them in place. I do want to make sure that we fill those up. Same as last year, we're going to try our best to keep 20 or 25 shares of the horses for the stable publicly, but that will depend on the demand also. Remember, I told you guys, there's going to be a lot of changes at the stable over the next few months. The business side of it, the operation side of it will be changing hands to John Evans and Nishant, my new partners. Good people. I'll introduce you to them a little closer as we get closer to the actual firm transition of operations. But I am eager to do this. I want to make sure that we start running everything properly for a number of reasons. Now, so that's the babies. That's Neptune, Casanova Hall, Tenacious Hanover. All right, let's run through some of the 2-year-olds you guys are asking about our racehorses. Arrowhead Hanover is going to school on Tuesday, I believe. He also will be racing in the series final, I believe. No, he'll probably train tomorrow, actually, because the final's next Friday, right? Something in my head says it's next Friday. I believe it is. Thursday, maybe even. It might be Thursday, the final. Blue Ventura is out in the field. We opted to turn him out for a month, bring him back in. You guys know we're trying to implement this plan where we're going to turn a lot of the 2-year-olds out in the end of the summer, bring them back in the winter. And this spawned from the success we had with Time Is on My Side, right? It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake, but his trajectory changed so much in the latter part of 2023 into 2024 and beyond, that we were left kind of parsing together this plan. First it was race him, make as much as we can, and then decide what we're going to do with him. Then it was, wow, this horse is not a bad horse. Maybe we should rest him, skip the first series, rest him for the second series, and then see what we have. Race him in the second series. Man, this is a kind of a nice colt. Raced him in the first Sire Stakes, and then we got to rest him again. Just a short time. Brought him back, and now he's raced in the Adios, the Milstein, the Max Hemp. He's going to race in the Little Brown Jug. He's racing tomorrow. If he races good tomorrow, he makes it into the final. I think he's going to need a first or second to make it into the final. Or I guess he'll be racing against Tenacious Hanover in the Consolation. But I would much rather race in the final with this horse. He is really starting to come to life. And this is exactly why we've kind of switched our gears when it comes to how we're going to do what we're going to do with the babies. In past years, this was taboo. In past years, you would almost, race them until the fall, give them 2, 3, 4 months off, 2, 3 for sure. 2 for sure. Bring them back. Take your time. Have them ready for March. What we found in many cases is they're just as good as they were last year. Why didn't we race them in the winter when all the purses were decent? When all the classes they could have done well in were kind of watered down? Why didn't we maximize them right up to now where's a 6, now where's a 7 before the summer started? So that's exactly what we're going to do with a number of horses. Blue Ventura is one of those. Cadeau, they said he jogged good today. I believe we'll probably train him tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. We are aiming to have him ready to go again for Jug Week. If he does well in the last Buckeye. 2 Buckeyes? 1 Buckeye? I think 2, isn't it? We're planning on making the last 2 Buckeyes with him. We'll see how it is. But for today, he's sound and looks good. Cleveland Masha, is she a good horse? I don't know. I don't think she's a horrible horse. I've seen improvements. Dominic's a bigger optimist than I am. And he said, Masha was much better taking. You're right, but she was terrible the first week, so it's really not that huge a jump. She's going to have to show us more, or she's not staying, that's for sure. But I'll play along for now. Thought she was okay her last start. Dancing by Myself, we are bringing some of these horses back in over the next 3-4 days that have been out, right? Dancing by Myself is one of them. Jason made a good point. If we're going to move some horses around and fill up some of the stalls in Ontario, why not send this guy to where he's going to race and train down on a bigger track? I can see that. I can make that argument. Sure. So, Speed of Sound is another one that comes to mind. Gigantic horse. Can only be helped by training back on a bigger track. Now, the difference between her and Dancing by Myself is she might never see a half. So there's not really a big deal. Where Dancing by Myself at some point, you have to figure out the turns. I think you will. Foxy Seaside, I thought she was adequate yesterday. Mentally, I thought she was better. She was behaved. At no point did I think she was going to make a break. I thought she would have bounced forward down the lane a little bit, but coming off break after bad mile, I think 2-3 bad miles in a row, maybe even 4. Let's call this getting her squared back around. Is that fair? Gonna race her again, both her and Manhattan Money, and I think when he wins a race, he'll be turned out, or a couple of starts. Foxy Seaside's not far behind. I'd like to see a couple of good races out of her, and then we'll turn her out for a bit. Gaslight Hall, pretty unique situation here. I told James, I said I was mad because I got mixed up and thought the other night was a Grassroots when he was, a country mile away at the head of the lane. But that was just an overnight. Drove him right. That was the right thing to do. Now he's got the Grassroots coming up this week. Much bigger fish to fry there. He needs a win. If he secures a win in that, I keep saying Buckeye, Grassroots. If he secures a win in that Grassroots, then he potentially, I have to check the standings in Kentucky. There's only one division again this week. Remember what I told you, that 5th place might go a long way. Shocking as it is, that 5th place might go a long way. So he may race in the Grassroots final and the actual Sire Stake final in Kentucky, which would be interesting, and I think he'd be peaking at the right time. I can't tell you, he's going to be really good. He's still got to trot a lot faster than he's ever trotted to put a scare in anybody in Kentucky, but I do see the horse improving every single week. Grand old chap. Every couple of days I get an email from somebody. He continues to progress slowly. He's not racing, probably not going to race in 2024. But I like that he is progressing. This has been a painfully slow process. I was going to say painful. I mean, it is painful. But it is a process. It does take time. There's no stop watching any of the horses. They all get there at their own time. And Grand Old Chap was horrible. A little less horrible. Maybe a tiny bit less horrible. We turned him out. Seemed okay. Better and better. I've trained him. He seems much better. And we just got to get him running. Get him rolling in the same. Not to get him running. Get him rolling in the same in the right direction. I'm a Trucker. A lot of emails about I'm a Trucker also. He's training down good. People said, any chance we can make Michigan? Absolutely not. There is a 0% chance I'm a Trucker is going to show up in Michigan this year. He'll show up in a maiden at Northfield. Timmy said, he's only a Michigan bred. He doesn't know that. I expect him to train down and be a decent horse. The other Michigan bred Mountaineer Prince may have had to be extricated from Michigan because he was making multiple breaks and then qualified well and looked like he was probably going to do well last night before the cancellation. Why can't I'm a Trucker do the same thing? I don't know how fast he is. I know Jason said he trained him at 2:30 the other day and he was good. He's doing everything we need him to do right now. I'm Ready 2 is back going now. Is he going to make stakes? Of course not this season. He's going to make races. I believe he looks good. Happy with him. Leggy will be coming back in this week, I believe. I just got to double check with Dr. Latessa, but I believe that will be fine. Melisandre out in the field. I thought long and hard about it. And I guess, to what end? She does everything right. She's not stupid. Physically, she is lacking a little bit of maturity. Mentally, pretty good, really. Understands her work, put her nose right on the gate. Wants to pass horses. What do we got to gain by racing her? Right now, nothing. Turn her out. I'm going to give her 5-6 weeks off and bring her back. I plan to race her in the winter too. My Wicked Heart, she's got to go. You guys know that. Somebody messaged me the other day and said, this is a horrible animal. I think we know that. I think we know she's not that great. We were racing on hope. That was it. That was the only thing we were racing on was hope. Because I can tell you right now, she is worth $0.0 on the public market. There is no shortage of 2-year-olds being sold. And a massive shortage of people wanting them. So we can literally give her away, but I have to point out, we do have a private market, and there are people that'll buy the share of My Wicked Heart for next to nothing. Fire sale prices. Because that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get online right now. So we can just keep racing her. Hopefully she goes out and does okay a couple of starts. Maybe somebody buys her, but in a very unique spot. I should have sold her a month and a half ago when I thought about it. I thought she showed a little flicker of being, she's out paces 56, 57. It was a different story. Somebody will buy her. You go out and struggle in 59. Not a lot of cars pulling up to the orphanage, I can tell you that. Never Lose Felix. This is one of the interesting horses of the fall. He'll be coming back in Monday also. Very interested in this guy. Because he did show talent, but he did have lameness. He was ignorant and rude, which was probably tied to his lameness. And mentally, he was lacking a little bit. In short, I think he was short, mentally and physically, of being anywhere near we needed him to be. I'm very interested to see how he comes back in. We've given him ample time off. There will be no addition to his time off, put it that way. Oh, he'll know. I'll give this filly all the time she needs. Her knees are bothering her? No problem. She showed me more than enough. Second and 58, closing in on them in Scioto. An easy, easy winner in a maiden at Northfield. Does everything we want her to do. Vet says her knees are bothering her, and he's concerned. Okay, just tell me what you want to do. She had time off in the stall, then she's going to the field. Again, we'll bring her back. She's going to need a little extra time because you want to make sure those knees are healed up. 4 weeks in the stall, Remember, it takes 6 to 8 weeks for all those to heal in. 4 weeks in the stall, maybe a week or two of a small paddock, and then out to the big paddock, out to play around. Bring her back when she's nice and fat and shiny and feeling good. I have very, very high hopes for, get to her in a minute, very, very high hopes for Oh He'll Know. I guess I would have jumped right over. Why is High Hopes not on here? High Hopes went out to the field. Another filly, not really near the same caliber going out as Oh He'll Know, but I'd love to see somewhere near the caliber coming in. I thought her attitude dissipated, her intelligence grew, her desire to do her work grew. She just wasn't able to do what we wanted her to do. Maybe she never will. That's the difference between her and Oh He'll Know. I've already seen what she can do, and I know there's a nice horse in there. High hopes. I'm trying to extrapolate data and say, well, she does this right, this right, this right. Sprinkle in a little ability, and we could have a nice horse. Well, we got to get the sprinkles. Pelicanal, continue to train him down. He's been in 235. Kind of ugly looking thing when he's going crossfiring and getting into gear. Is he going to get over that and come forward? I don't know. Will he mature mentally, physically, and be a good horse? I don't know. Probably have a better answer for you. Let's say October 1st. That's when I think I'll be a little more comfortable talking about Pelicanal. She sits at the bar. Great story, and I hope it has a great ending. We're in the middle of the book right now. What I mean by that is she got severely injured, came back, was quite lame on that left front, quite lame to walk on it. The vet said when she felt a little more comfortable, we could try her in the field. She did elevate that comfort level, walking, hand walking. Lauren did a great job just going slow with her, hand walking her. Now she's out in the field. She's lame out in the field, sore. But that's part of that rehab, right? She's got to get moving around in that ankle. And I'm hoping come October 1st, I get a phone call from Jacob saying, this filly's running around pretty good. That's what I would like to hear. The very worst case scenario is we breed her in February. If that's the case, so be it. I hope it doesn't come to that. That's not a bad thing. And a lot of respect for that filly. You guys know that. You guys don't, you may not know. You hear me talk about the respect level I have for Lover's Play. To have a horse just so close to death, quite frankly. Now, the other filly wasn't. That Lover's Play was very close to death and fought all the way back, and for her to be racing is just astonishing to me. And somebody might say, well, she's not that good. There's a lot of horses way worse than her that should be better. I can tell you that. She sits in the bar, same type of thing. For her to want to be a horse, I'd love to see this filly make it back to the races. But that'll be up to her. We'll see. Southwind Idex, another big giant colt. I'm tempted to send him to Ontario also, but he's so lazy. Is this a horse that they're going to get to go? I don't know. A lot of things can happen when you have a horse grow up and get time off. So I don't know about Southwind Idex, but Speed of Sound definitely is going to Ontario. I'm going to give her some time just to train down on a bigger surface. I like the filly, always have liked her. Interested to see what she's going to become. Admiral Dio, tons of people asking me, Anthony, is he going to race? Guys, I told you first part of September when we bought him. That is not the end of August. That is not September 1st. That's the first part of September. He is schooling this week, I believe, or next week. He is getting ready to go. We are on track to race him. That's all I know. I know that Harry thought he was training him in 2-3 this week. That's what he told me. I've not heard how he trained yet. I'm sure I'll be updated tomorrow. Or Saturday. Hallie in the Clouds will be coming back in soon. Jason said, she still... He looks like it bothers her in the field. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not a big fan of her attitude. And she really put a sour taste in my mouth the last time we raced her. When she does come back, when he does say she's ready to come back, she is going to be full-on drill sergeant work mode. From the time she comes back to the time she races. There is going to be no more bag of carrots on Friday. you're here to work. And that's what she's going to get. A healthy dose of working over the next 6 weeks when she comes back. I'm going to push her. I'm going to push her right to the brink. Because I think there's a better horse in there. And I want to see it. So that's the plan with Hallie in the Clouds, Mel Gibbswan, getting close to being ready to go. I told Stacy, do not feel any rush at this point to have him ready. She's getting very close to being ready to go. He's anywhere between 90 and 100%, 92, 100% on a given week. And I said, well, let's just see when he has some consistency up around 100. Because I think if we do it wrong, if we risk, if we take a chance and push him when we shouldn't, we're going to be very disappointed with what happens. And I think that's where we're at with Mel. He is very, very close to qualifying. Mounts for all. I guess I have to ask the prognosis of the vet. I would suspect when he's been in the stall for 6 weeks, which he's got to be coming up on, we just put a bar shoe on him, start lightly walking, jogging him, giving him some time in the aqua treadmill, and play it by ear. I think that's what we're going to do with Mounts for All. Ready for landing. We'll come back in a week or two. We'll get him trained up, and we will try to qualify him free-legged. I see they changed the rule in Ohio this year. They changed it this week. Starting Monday, you only have to declare with or without hobbles. Finally, a couple of people got together with some common sense and decided that they were going to change the trotting hobble rule in Ohio. A long time coming, and a great job by Ohio. Very happy to hear that. Sweeney will train tomorrow. He trained this week. Jason went with him, said he was sound, he was good. I'll train him up this week, maybe tomorrow. Actually, I think he trained him Wednesday, so I don't think I can train him tomorrow. But we are looking to possibly qualify him Wednesday at Northfield. Somebody said, well, he has to go to a 5/8. No, he doesn't. I thought he was good on a 5/8. But he also had some issues that have still been since undiagnosed. We don't know what that lameness issue was. We have not confirmed it. Was it his foot? Was it a quarter crack or pus pocket? No. Might have been a little bit of a pus pocket, but a little bit of a pus pocket does not get you scratched in sciota. Large one does. I didn't see any evidence of a large one. So we're going to play it by ear and tread lightly with Sweeney. If we qualify him this week, it'll likely be at Northfield, not at Sciota or the Meadows. Widespread Panic is back now. We will probably put him in to go at the Meadows next week, so I'll be training him tomorrow in the race bike at Northfield. Now remember, he does get around the half for a big horse. I did train him at 2-1 when he first came over from Ontario. We will likely, but he's coming off a break, so he can't race in Ohio his next start. He'll have to go to the Meadows. Spitfire Overseas is back going double headers now. Haven't been any fast miles with him, but some double headers again. We're looking for the same thing. Mid to the end of September, having him ready. I want to have him good for the entirety of the winter. Greatest Ending, same type of thing there. We're going to bring him out of the field in Southern Ohio, probably in a week, 2 weeks with him. We'll have him back in. Looks like Money is almost ready to go. I know that's music to your ears. It certainly is mine. He's almost ready to go. Kings County. Now, I'm going to end with Kings County. Patrick DePirana was bought by us, by the stable, bought back, and I guess bought back, different ownership model, but bought back. Racing, drew the 9-hole on Saturday. Probably going to duck him again. It's frustrating, but there's not much you can do. This is one of those situations where, you want to find a way to make something happen, but when you have the 9-hole on a 5/8 mile track and with some other hard hitters, just not much you can do. And we're going to have to take what we're given on Saturday, I believe, with him. Delicious Stone DK has had a problem with his throat. He's made noise the last couple of weeks when we went to train him. Under scope, there wasn't anything serious found, but we want to get a closer look. It may just be that it's irritated, bruised, and it needs another week. That's very possible. We'll see what goes on with him. The plan with him is to get him to Ontario and race him in the optional 20 claimer. He can race in horses that race for a purse of less than whatever the lowest one for a couple of starts, If he's doing well, great. We're going to try and protect him, put him in that 20 claimer and keep him in a softer crew, but we have to get him to the races first. I was happy with the start 2 weeks ago. I knew exactly what was going on 3 weeks ago. His last start, I knew what had happened. He was making noise going in behind the gate. It was a problem. We are working on it, and I expect it'll be rectified soon. And then Kings County, went down there, had him in to go. He was favored, looked good, everything looked good. They canceled the races. There was an issue with the paddock, and they canceled the races. Went out to train him 2 days ago. He trained great, but then Nick said he pulled up a little bit sore right front. He was a little tender in the splint bone area. They x-rayed him. Hard to believe. He had a line in his splint bone. Now, splint bone is not like a coffin bone or anything like that. It's a kind of a useless bone, quite frankly. And we've always had the best luck just taking them out. So it'd be like, think of a pencil, and you have a fracture in the middle of that pencil. It will heal, but what happens when it heals is the outside of it heals with a little calcium. And in my experience, what happens is it rubs on the soft tissue in the area. Before you know it, you end up with heat in the suspensory, and if you're really unlucky, you end up with a suspensory. The best luck I've ever had, just take the splint bone out where it's fractured. Straight up, it's very easy. I'm not a vet, but I'm going to give you the layman's terms of what I witnessed. It was done at the barn by Dr. Llewellyn when I was younger. Just open it up, take that piece of splint bone out that's fractured, sew it back up, give it a week or two to heal, start back up. There's no residual lameness after that, not that we found. The vets in Minnesota said, maybe we'll cryo it and just give him time. No, we're not playing that game. Just send him back to Pennsylvania. I'll get Dr. Brown to take that splint bone out right away. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, if Dr. Keith Brown says I wouldn't take it out, fine. I'm not calling into question the intelligence of the vets of the clinic in Minnesota. Absolutely not. I'm sure they're professionals. My personal feeling, and I've gone through a lot of these, my personal feeling is I'd rather take it out. So, that will be plan A. Dr. Brown looks at the x-rays and said, I wouldn't do that. Okay, then we'll go with plan B. I'm not sure what plan B entails, but we'll find out. So he could be off, he's off an extended period of time. It'll either be somewhere between another 3 weeks, 4 weeks to 6 maybe. But it won't be the end of the world again. We'll have arrested Kings County for the winter, for the fall and the winter in what looks like the meadows. So that is, I may have missed horses, but I don't think so. I went through our list at the stable and tried to come up with any horse that may not have an update that people haven't heard or may want to hear. I wanted to talk about Tenacious Hanover. I wanted to talk about Casanova Hall. I wanted to talk about Neptune. I wanted to talk about the babies, and that just morphed into, why don't I just update everybody on what I have been getting a lot of questions about. So I did. So now you're completely updated. Top to bottom, you have an update also of the horses that raced this afternoon at the Meadows. No. There you go. I'm going in here. About the horse that raced at the Meadows, and good luck to all my partners tonight at Mohawk with Princess Dream and with Really Don't Care. So with that, I will finally let you go. I will talk to you all very soon. I hope you had a wonderful day. The weirdest weather there in Pennsylvania. Tomorrow we got Time Is On My Side. Super excited about this race. And then after that, I'm off to Windsor, Ontario to watch my favorite colt of all. Oliver McDonald is going to play baseball Friday, Saturday, Sunday if you're in the Windsor area. Even if you're in Michigan. Marvin said he's coming over. If you're in Michigan, we're right on Riverside, right down on the baseball field is right against the river in between, I don't know if it's Windsor River or what it is, but right in between Windsor and Detroit, so not far from where you are if you are anywhere in that area. Feel free to drop by and cheer them on. It should be a lot of fun. It is the last tournament of the year, the final hurrah for the 12U Guelph Royals 2024. So, take care. Have a wonderful weekend. I will talk to you all very soon.